Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving straight into ACIM, Lesson 113, which is a review of Lessons 95 and 96. If you've been following along with the course, you already know that these review lessons, well, they're where the real mental shifts happen. We're going to break down exactly what these texts mean, clear up some of that confusing terminology, and, most importantly, give you the exact daily practice schedule outlined in the text so you can literally apply this to your life today. Let's get right into it. So, let's read these two core review lessons nice and slowly. I want you to just let the meditative weight of these words land for a second before we really start decoding them. The first is, I am one self, united with my Creator. And the second is, salvation comes from my one self. Just take a breath with those. These aren't just your standard daily affirmations. They are radical statements about who you actually are and where your peace comes from. They completely challenge everything the modern world tells us about having to hustle for our worth or looking outside ourselves to finally be happy.
All right, Part 1, Decoding Lesson 95.
Here's the full thought provided in the source for your morning and evening review. Serenity and perfect peace are mine because I am one self, completely whole, at one with all creation and with God. I want you to pay special attention to the words serenity and completely whole. Notice how the text isn't saying you'll eventually become whole if you just, meditate hard enough or do everything perfectly. It's stating it as an absolute present fact. Because you are this one self, you are already completely whole. Right now, in this exact second. And this really gets to the practical application of the lesson. United with my Creator and at one with all creation simply means you're already whole. You do not need external validation. This lesson is actively asking us to drop the act and stop seeking approval from the outside world. You literally don't need the perfect job, the flawless relationship, or a massive bank balance to be complete. Recognizing this inherent, unbreakable connection to the universe, it totally shuts down that exhausting mental loop of never feeling like you're quite enough.
Moving right along to Part 2, Decoding Lesson 96.
Let's read the original text for Lesson 96. From my one self, whose knowledge still remains within my mind, I see God's perfect plan for my salvation perfectly fulfilled. I really want to shine a spotlight on that phrase right in the middle, within my mind. The text is pointing you directly inward. This knowledge isn't out there in a self-help book, and it's certainly not hidden on some mountaintop. It remains entirely within your mind. But to really grasp this, we've got to address a word that trips a lot of people up. And that word is salvation. We need to totally strip away the heavy traditional baggage that usually comes with this word. In the context of A Course in Miracles, salvation is not about some dramatic external rescue operation. It doesn't mean you're being saved from a fiery doom by a guy in the sky. Salvation here simply means ultimate peace, ultimate fulfillment, and total freedom from internal conflict. It's just the restoration of your mind back to its natural state of peace. That's it. So, the real crux of this is captured beautifully here. The idea that salvation comes from my one self translates to a massive modern truth. True happiness and fulfillment come from within, not from endlessly trying to change external circumstances. This lesson is a huge game changer because it empowers you by placing the locus of control entirely within yourself. You don't need to fix the outside world to find peace of mind. You don't need to change your boss, your partner, or the terrible morning traffic to be happy. Your peace, your salvation, is generated 100% internally by your one self.
Okay, Part 3, Your Daily Practice Schedule.
But before we get to the actual schedule, let's ask ourselves a quick question. How often do we actually need to practice these thoughts to truly shift our mindset? Think about your typical day for a second. How many times do you lose your peace? How often do you get frustrated, anxious, or just completely overwhelmed? If you're anything like me, it happens a lot. Because the world is constantly pulling our attention outward, we absolutely need a structured, repeating schedule to forcefully pull our attention back inward. So, here is exactly how the source material tells us to do that today. This timeline maps out your ideal, theoretical day. You're going to basically sandwich your day with the full extended text we covered earlier. Read it once in the morning, right when you wake up, and once in the evening, right before you go to sleep. But the real magic? That happens during the day. You're going to use shorter, highly focused reminders throughout the day, specifically on the hour and on the half hour. Let's break those down real quick.
Right on the hour. So we're talking 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 2 p.m., whatever it is. You are instructed to completely pause whatever you are doing. Seriously, it doesn't matter if you're typing an important email or scrubbing the dishes. Stop, take a deep breath, and silently repeat this mantra to yourself. I am one self, united with my Creator. Think of this as your hourly reset button. It recenters your connection and reminds you of your unbroken wholeness every 60 minutes. And then, at every half-hour mark, 9:30, 10:30, 2:30, you repeat the second mantra. You pause again and remind yourself, salvation comes from my one self. This is your constant, rolling reminder that your peace literally cannot be taken away by whatever stressful nonsense just happened in the last 30 minutes. By alternating these two thoughts every 30 minutes, you are essentially building this impenetrable fortress of peace around your mind for the entire day.
Finally, Part 4, Final Review and Summary. Let's lock these in so you don't forget them. For Lesson 95, remember, I am one self, united with my Creator. You'll use this on the hour. And for Lesson 96, salvation comes from my one self. You're going to use this on the half hour. Just to recap, sandwich your day with the longer paragraphs morning and night, and use these two precise, powerful statements as your anchor points every 30 minutes. If you commit to this schedule, you're not just reading words, you are actively rewiring your brain for serenity. Well, if you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to support more explainers on inner peace, mindfulness, and turning complex texts into actual, actionable daily practices. I want to leave you with this final provocative thought today. Just imagine for a second how radically different, how much more peaceful and untouchable your day will be if you truly recognize that no one and absolutely nothing outside of you holds the key to your happiness. Your salvation is already yours. Have a wonderful, mindful day, and we'll catch you in the next explainer.